Today, we'll be answering the age-old question that football fans and fantasy owners alike ask every year, but can never get a definite answer for. Which position is more valuable, running back or wide receiver? Having a good running back opens up a whole new part of an offense and puts less pressure on the quarterback. A good running back can carry an offense for entire games and lead his team to victory. A prime example is Derrick Henry. He single-handedly willed the Tennessee Titans to playoff wins over both the New England Patriots and Baltimore Ravens. The amount of carries a running back gets in any given game isn't up to the player himself, but rather the coaching staff. Therefore, unlike a wide receiver, a running back will always get his touches as long as the running game is productive. Wide receivers are productive as well, but not in the same way. They have to work to get themselves open on every pass, on every play. And if by chance the quarterback sees that they are open and throws their way, they have to catch the ball. Their touches are completely reliant on the quarterback's ability to make throws and the play calling by the offensive coordinator. When looking at top wide receivers, they have a bad game more often than the top running backs. One recent exception to this is Michael Thomas, as he averaged over 100 yards per game this past season. Certain pass catchers of his caliber always get their targets just by virtue of the fact that they are so good that they are always open. This is not the same for other thought to be top wideouts. DeAndre Hopkins suffered from a lack of targets early last season, and so did Davante Adams. However, top running backs such as Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley consistently were able to get carries throughout the season. Their numbers relied somewhat on their offensive lines, but mostly on their ability to find holes and make perfectly timed cuts in the open field. Overall analytics show that the running back position is more valuable than the wide receiver position by a visible margin. Basic stats from top players and their per game averages are another indicator of that position's importance. For fantasy owners, running backs are the most important players that add to your team. In teams, having a solid running back is key to offensive success. In ESPN's PPR fantasy leagues, 4 out of the top 10 scorers were running backs, with the only wide receiver in the top 10 being Michael Thomas. While PPR scoring should favor wide receivers with an added bonus for each pass caught, ESPN's tally of points from last season shows otherwise. Fantasy football doesn't mean everything, but it's still based off an accumulation of stats, which can prove the importance of a certain player has to his team. Or in this case, which position is most valuable. The running backs, statistically speaking, fare far better than wide receivers and carry a larger portion of the offense. For a less fantasy-based answer to this question, we have to take a look at some of the jaw-dropping NFL records set by running backs. Although not necessarily a record, Jim Brown's 7 1,000-yard seasons and 9 seasons with another season at 996 yards is something that there is no wide receiver equivalent for. Hall of Fame wide receiver Randy Moss has the record for receiving touchdowns with 23, but running back LaDainian Tomlinson has more rushing touchdowns in a season with 28. The record for rush yards in a game, 296, by Adrian Peterson, is considered to be one of the most untouchable records in sports. The record for receiving yards in a game, 336, by Flipper Anderson, has come somewhat close to being broken. Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp came close to breaking it this past season, which shows how much more impressive Peterson's record was. At the end of the day, running backs are more important than wide receivers, simply because they are tone setters for their offense, and at times can change the tides of entire games.